Look what has become of you.
Always remember, I am filth. Always remember, I am nothing.
Death is complicated, messy, and it leaves the viewer in a perpetual state of ambiguous acceptance. Even more so, resurrections can often complicate their own intentions across different points of finality, and their reintroduction into the environment runs the risk of breaking the agreed-upon continuity that audiences reached organically.
You cannot imagine the depths I would go to stay alive, fueled by my singular hatred for you.
But something unnerving began to metastasize after I had finished watching Star Wars The Clone Wars, and it seemed to stem from a single episode in Season 7. Why did Maul feel so out of place in a scene that was solely designed to give him the spotlight? Let's disregard the approach of canonical linearity and instead understand what it is that the directors wanted us to feel during this scene, as up until now I'd been struggling to fully accept Maul as anything but fan service. The thematic latch for Darth Maul was never about his presentation, rather it was for Maul to serve as the incarnation of existential dissociation. Like a frog being boiled alive whilst completely unaware, the thematic latch in question, now personified as this forgotten Sith apprentice, was instead clicking continuously. It was the background noise in the show's subconscious, while the audience's naive curiosity was caught up in the panic and the chaos of the stakes of the finale. We were just too innocent to ever understand it at the time, and with that, that is exactly why it worked. Maul was right.
He is behind everything. In the shadows, always, but soon, very soon, he will reveal himself.
With your help, the Jedi can stop Sidious before it's too late.
Too late? For what? The Republic to fall? It already has, and you just can't see it. There is no justice, no law, no order, except for the one that will replace it. The time of the Jedi has passed. They cannot defeat Sidious.
But together, you and I can.
I made a video on the Clone Wars, a video I'm really happy I made and one that's special to this channel. Luckily, I think the opinions I expressed resonated with many of you as well, but there was one question I couldn't yet answer. Why did I not talk about Maul? Why the focus on the bounty hunters and the clones and the Jedi Council and the numerous other supportive casts who aligned for the greatest animated series ever released on television without talking about its most important common denominator? Turns out I couldn't find the words, I couldn't find the images, I couldn't find the right olive branch for this video, so instead I needed a scene.
To bring balance to the Force?
To destroy. He has long been groomed for his role as my master's new apprentice.
You lie.
I'm afraid not. In fact, I was so certain of his fate that I orchestrated this war to lure him here with Kenobi to kill him, thus depriving Sidious of his prized pupil.
I know, Anakin. Your vision is flawed.
I see the Padawan needs one last lesson.
The beauty of Star Wars is what emerges when combing through its finer details. Character growth evolves into this metatextual anecdote as interpersonal relationships stem from the operant conditioning of the natural world. What made Season 7 such a profound conclusion to the series was how its conclusion already predated the interactions reimagined by the studio. So the quiet moments became this much-needed canonical space that the prequels lacked and therefore offered an exposed and unapologetic window into the buildup of our favorite characters. The breadth of emotional investment was easy to indulge, but the writers took this opportunity to instead tell a harrowing story about knowledge and its self-destructive residues. how it can even destroy the most static antagonists from the inside out.
Let me go. Let me die. You're all going to burn. We're all going to die.
By overtly delaying the inevitable of Order 66 and the downfall of Anakin's relationships, Season 7 wound the tension of each episode into an almost physically uncomfortable state, only to then use Maul as the conduit for expressing its most disturbing conclusions. With one scene, Darth Maul became the villain Star Wars never knew it needed, but would forever be in debt to. Paranoia, claustrophobia, existential dread. These are just a few of the haunting self-actualizations manifested through Darth Maul's psyche, transcending the norms of previous Star Wars character development. Maul was the only character who beat Palpatine's game. Maul not only understood the chessboard, but where each piece was headed. The world began to collapse around him, growing darker, colder, isolating him to the point of insanity, and the one extension he made for redemption was to Ahsoka. She was the last link to the master plan, the link to the motions of the Emperor, and the catalyst to the salvation of Maul's place in the galaxy. Once she declined the offer, Maul's identity became that of a shadow, a remnant of a time long past, and hollow in the face of the end. Maul was the only one in all of the chaos who knew, and now he was the only one in all of the chaos who would die before his death. The gravity of the situation and his mere comprehension of it all is what elevated him beyond a character for character's sake. He became a monument to the trauma of the audience. Maul was written to break the fourth wall and bridge the thematic consciousness back into the prequels as the sacrificial lamb to a new reality, a reality where hope is for those with a death wish, and with this knowledge itself, he was hopeless to stop it. The Clone Wars took the forgotten thought of Darth Maul and welded him back together as a reconstituted mirror of all of the triumphs and failures of the Jedi Order. The deafening ignorance that plagued us all laid bare like an exposed nerve for the audience to digest slowly and painfully. A living reminder to the world of the utter failures of our protagonists, and the only character besides Luke Skywalker himself who slipped behind the veil of blind mistrust in those ancient religions. A pillar of trauma, evolving through the continuity of others, his very existence finished the prequels nearly 20 years after their conclusion. Maul was then rewarded with a sense of clarity, conscience, and closure, almost like interacting with a dream of sorts.
Tell me, is it the chosen one?
He is.
He will avenge.